I'd like to introduce Mabel herself. And yeah, this is some information about her now on the screen. She's been teaching for over a decade,
We
English
actually
language.
lost the screen. Sorry, Linda.
You haven't moved on the screen. Oh, this one?
Um,
No,
no, we
not
can't
on
see it.
Mabel.
We can't see the slides anymore.
Let me
I
stop.
can see the slides.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me.
Maybe that's me then. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, let me share again. Can you see my slide now? Can you see Mabel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay, good. So, yeah, she graduated with her first class honours in English language and education, and she was awarded the prestigious Hornby Scholarship to study for an MA in TESOL at the University of Warwick, which is an excellent MA, one of the best in the UK. She specialised in teacher education and development, and she focused on the continuous professional development of teachers in Nigeria. Since then, she's been supporting lots of teachers in Nigeria through ELTAN and others. She has been presenting at national and international conferences, ELTAN conferences and IATEFL. She has published as well. She wrote Strategies of English Language Professional Development for ELT Practitioners, and that was published by Journal of ELTAN in 2022. She has also published on the Teaching English website some materials on teaching grammar. So you see in the final sentence there, she's a writer, a poet, a teacher, educator, and a content developer. Lots of things, versatile, creative, and she has lots to share with you today about her topic. So over to you, Mabel, and just say next for me to move on to the next slide.
Thank you so much, Linda, for that wonderful introduction. I'm so excited to join you all. And happy New Year to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us across the globe. Welcome to this wonderful British Council sponsored webinar. If you're here with us, I say a big welcome to you and a happy New Year. It's a time we're making all of our New Year resolutions in the beginning of the year. And it's still a time to plan for our professional development. If you haven't done that, I hope that by the end of this webinar, you'll be able to take those very intentional decisions, make those bold steps to plan for your professional growth. And I hope that by the time we're done, you'll be able to understand the importance of taking responsibility for your professional development and also know how to develop a personal development plan for your professional development and also identify strategies for overcoming some of the barriers for your professional development that we would be talking about. So without further ado, let's get started, Linda. Next slide, please. Okay, so before now, we were taking polls and Steve had already shared some of the abbreviations that were asked at the poll for your knowledge. And now, before I further go on, there are some of them that I would be using, and I'd like to know how familiar you are with them. The first one is TR for PD. In the chat, please kindly tell us what you know about the following abbreviations. TR for PD, ELT, CPD. We've already done CPD, PLN, and PLE. I think we did that. We did the PLN one, and there were not much responses. Yeah. Okay. English language teaching. Thank you very much, Magdi. Linda, do you want to read some of the responses, if there are any, please? Or do I read them?
You're welcome to read some of them if you want. Somebody else, continuous professional development.
That's right. That's absolutely correct.
Nobody's got A or E yet.
Okay. Let's just go on further. Let's see the next slide, please. So in the next slide, you see the full meaning of some of the abbreviations. TR for PD. I think I coined that one. I coined that one to mean taking responsibility for professional development. ELT for English language teaching or English language teachers. And CPD, of course, we in ELTAN, we say ELTAN, CPD, ELTAN, CPD, ELTAN, continuous professional development. That's how we say it in ELTAN. So yeah, it means continuous professional development. And PLN means personal learning network. You'll be hearing more about that as we progress. And PLE means personal learning environment. Thank you very much, Linda. Next slide, please. Right, so this is why we're here, taking responsibility for professional development, the whys and hows. What does it mean to you? We've been hearing a lot. Take responsibility, be responsible, be responsible. What does it really mean to you? Kindly put your answers in the chat. And why and how can we take responsibility for our professional development? Let's see your answers in the chat, just very briefly and quickly. Thank you. Are there any responses coming? Not yet.
Just one.
So every day when we go online, okay, Magdi says to be effective teachers. That's correct. Okay, getting involved in CPD. TR for my PD keeps me updated with best practices and improves my competence. Absolutely correct. I love the way you put it. Actively engaging in efforts to improve your skills, knowledge, and career growth. You will have very fantastic ideas. Thank you very much. Okay, moving along. Just keep your responses coming. Okay, so taking responsibility for your professional development involves everything and anything that is intentionally done for the purpose of upgrading and improving yourself and your teaching. It's not something that is done by prompting. Someone doesn't have to push you to it. Someone doesn't have to force you to do it. You're not coerced to, you're not mandated to. It's just something that you do on your own. Taking responsibility is more of my business kind of thing. It's your business. So you take care of your business, you mind your business, you promote your business, you support your business. It means being proactive and accountable. And I want you to really pay attention to the words that I have underlined: proactive and accountable. And I wish you could just give me some synonyms, words that could be used to replace proactive and accountable. Put them in the chat. So being proactive and being accountable for your own growth, learning, and career advancement. So it's more of your thing, ownership, taking agency, taking responsibility, being intentional, being self-driven, being self-directed, being motivated on your own. No one has to compel you to do it. Your school supervisor does not have to push you to do it. Your proprietor doesn't push you to do it. It's you taking responsibility, being aware of your strengths and weaknesses as a professional, taking those bold steps, on your own without being prompted, without being forced, without being coerced. That is what taking responsibility for your professional development is. Linda, do I have any? Okay, yeah. So these are some of the synonyms you have given: in charge, responsible, assume the responsibility. Yeah, take the bull by the horns, taking charge. That's it. That's it. Intentionally doing this on your own without anyone compelling you or forcing you to do it. Being intentional, Zini, you says being intentional, being passionate, forward thinking. Thank you, Joshua Tamnoseki. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your wonderful contributions. Moving along, Linda. Okay, so you've been a professional. You've been teaching English for 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. You know this thing. I mean, a noun is the name of a person, place, thing, quality, or idea. Pronouns are used to replace nouns, adverbs. You know all these things. Does it really matter? Must you take responsibility? Must you go further? Must you upskill? Why? Why? It's important that you do so because of the changing educational landscape. Things are changing. The way we were taught way years back is not the way things are done now. Now we even have more enthusiastic learners, more curious learners, and we have learners from diverse learning backgrounds and different learning styles. You can't stay in one place to adapt to all of the changes. You have to move. You have to move with the times. So back in the day, we say, oh, don't talk in class, no talking, face your work. Now we say, talk, collaborate, contribute, engage with each other. Because these days, we're not just teaching for teaching's sake. We're also building learners' social and emotional skills. So it's a lot that we have to do. Before COVID came, we were all very comfortable in our classrooms, carrying chalk, carrying our board and all of that. But COVID came and we all had to adapt to the changes that were happening. Okay, we now say, okay, bring your phones. Back in the day, we said no phones allowed in class. Now we said, bring your phones. Okay, so these are all of the changes that are happening. And you can't stay in one place being conservative, just being comfortable in your own space. And you don't want to learn, you don't want to refine your practices. That's very dangerous. So that is why you have to take responsibility. And what about career advancements? You want to move from maybe a primary school teacher to a secondary school teacher or even a university teacher. You have to continue to upgrade your skills so that you can fit in these places. That's for career advancement. And when that happens, it gives you a kind of what we call in Nigeria, steeze and composure. You know, you go to class having all of that boost, having all of that enthusiasm, the zest, the zeal is there. You want to teach, you have a lot to pour. Okay, you have a lot to give out, and it's all flowing from within, because why? You know this thing, this is your area. This is your area, you know what to do. So this is what taking responsibility for your professional development does for you. And that is why you have to do this. And of course, it makes you adaptable and resilient. When COVID came, some teachers were finding it very difficult to adjust. Some people, it was just a little tweaking here and there, and they could adjust and started teaching online. So it gives you that boost, it gives you that resilience and capacity development. Next slide, please. Okay, so how do you take responsibility? It's not just sitting at home. It's not just going to class every day, teaching the same thing over and over and expecting results and expecting a different result. You have to stay up to date with industry trends. What's the new teaching method that is on there? What new learning styles are learners, adaptable to? What new things can you do? What new thing is happening? These days, we're talking about 21st century classrooms. We're talking about AI. How much of these things do you know? How many of these things are you, putting in your class? How many of these things are you practicing, are engaging with in your class? It's a lot to go with. So staying up to date with industry trends is an important way of taking responsibility. And then you also have to acknowledge knowledge gaps. Where are these areas that I'm not doing well? Maybe in your class, you find that you have a lot of teacher talking time. You talk too much. You don't let your students contribute. You find that class management is a problem. You find that you do not really engage your learners. There's not much collaborative activities going on. You could think about all of these and identify these areas. And when you do that, you begin to find ways to, track these things and make those necessary changes for your development. And you have to be proactive and self-driven, self-directed. Nobody has to tell you to do it. On your own, you go on. Just that spark that you need. And then you use professional mentors, networks, and online resources. They are all there. On the British Council website, you see a lot of resources that you can use for your professional development. Some people think that going online is all about paying money. Doing courses is all about paying a fee for them. Well, some of them are absolutely free, especially those ones on the British Council website. And you go on Coursera, they are free. Some also come with certifications, some do not, but a lot of them are absolutely free. So just give yourself that push, take that step, and look for some of these resources for your own refining of your practices. And then you take the initiative. Like I said, it's your decision, it's your business. It's your business. How you promote it, how you go about it, it's entirely up to you. Okay, there is no straitjacket way of taking responsibility. However you do it, provided it is towards your career advancement and towards the refining of your skills, that is absolutely fine. And then you set personal goals. This year, okay, 2025, how do I want to go about my professional development? Which area do I want to look at? Is it about preparing my lessons? Is it effectively using my instructional materials? Which area is difficult for me that I want to make changes to? That is setting personal goals and moving towards achieving those personal goals, and then reflecting, taking a moment to think, to sit back and think about your practice. That also is an important part of taking responsibility, and then regularly assessing your progress. How well am I doing? Okay, the way I did this in the last class probably didn't go well. Okay, I take note of that. And then the next thing, what do I need to change? You go back there and you do that change. And then you have those moments that you just say, yes, those eureka moments, say, yes, I've done it. Yes, this is it. This is what I actually wanted to do. Why didn't I think about it earlier? Just having those moments and tracking those changes would really, those progress that you made, those small changes that just give you that happy moment as a teacher. This is what we're talking about. So which of these is most important to you? Is it staying up to date? Is it linking up with mentors and using online resources? Is it taking the initiative? Is it setting personal goals? Which one is most important to you? Let's see your responses in the chat. Okay, Linda, let's move along while the chats come up.
Got lots already in the chat. Have you seen?
Are you? Wow, really?
No,
Okay. Okay. Oh, ADFB. Oh, nice. Thank you all so much. ABD. All right, Zini. Frederick F. Thank you all so much. Thank you. All right, moving along. Okay, so there are key principles for taking responsibility for your professional development. The first thing is that you have to set clear goals. Like I said, this is 2025, and we're making all of the New Year resolutions this year. What is my plan? How do I want to upskill? How do I refine my practices? What do I want to do? And then you have that. Maybe you have identified an area. Maybe the area is, my students don't talk much in class. They're a little reserved. They're a little shy. The next thing you do is to create a personal development plan. How do I do this? How do I make them talk? How do I engage them better? Is the language that I'm using in class, is it a little high for their level? Is it that are there cultural influences to this? Is it a language barrier problem? You think of all of this, you create that personal development plan, and you leverage on resources that are available. You could decide to go online, watch videos on YouTube, watch videos on the British Council Teaching English Connect website, watch videos on Facebook, see how people do these things, and actually leveraging massively on the resources that are available. Like I said, some of them are absolutely free. You're not paying a dime for it. All you need is to have good data. Yeah, you need to have data. That's one problem that we have as teachers, having data, internet access to these things. And then you track your progress and evaluate outcomes at the end of the day. How well have I done? This strategy that I have taken, this problem that I have identified, this gap, this lacuna, have I been able to do anything progressive about it? The strategies that I have adopted to address this situation, has it worked? Why didn't it work? What else can I do? You track your progress like that. But all that comes from a place of having and embracing a growth mindset. You cannot take responsibility for your professional development if you do not have a growth mindset. If you just relax and say, oh, I'm a teacher, it's okay, I know now, a noun is the name of a person. Doesn't end there. Okay, you have to take those steps, those intentional decisions, make those forward-thinking decisions for yourself. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Okay, I see some of your responses. Anything else? Linda, do we have any? Okay, Linda says, okay, I think it's important to take on something that fits into your professional and personal life. We're already busy, as busy teachers. Okay, thank you, Linda. Yeah, setting goal is very important. Thank you very much. Peer mentor. Thank you all so much for your responses. Moving along, Linda. Okay, so there has been so much talk about taking responsibility, whether we're looking at educators, professionals, everybody's saying the same thing. It is time, and as English teachers, there is so much on us, okay? There's so much on us for upskilling. A child doesn't do well in mathematics, come on, they blame the English teacher, right? A student doesn't do well in physics, they blame the English teacher. So there's a lot on us. It's so much. It's so much on us. I see a lot, So this taking responsibility has been buttressed over time, even by the British Council. So British Council has the CPD framework for teachers. And they say that to be identified as an expert as a very good teacher, as a professional teacher, there are certain core values, certain core skills. And the first thing is you have to know how to plan lessons and your courses. Some of us still struggle with lesson plans. You have to understand your learners. Some of us, we have all sorts of learners and we do not know the kind of learning style or the kind of learning technique that fits each of them, especially for those of us who teach in very constraining circumstances. Some of us have very large classes. This is a big problem for us. But the British Council says we have to understand our learners. We have to know how to manage the lesson. We have to know the subject and manage the resources that are available and integrate ICT in our teaching. All right. But the core of it to me is that you also have to take responsibility for your personal development, for your professional development. And there is no way that you can understand and use inclusive practices or use multilingual approaches or promote 21st century skills or even understand educational policies and practices if you do not take responsibility for your professional development. So I would say that all of the things that have been cited here all fall under taking responsibility, because when you take responsibility, you learn how to manage your lesson, you understand your learner, you know your subject, you manage resources, you know these things that would apply perfectly and fit your context. Remember, all of these things are context specific. So what I face in my classroom, they're not what you face in your classroom in Ethiopia or in Tanzania. Okay, so the British Council has buttressed this, and it is clear to us that taking responsibility is one of the ways we show, one of the ways we prove that we are professionals and we are ready to do the job. Moving along, Linda. Okay, so you want to, all right? You want to take responsibility. You want to be intentional. You want to be proactive. You want to be that teacher that people look up to. But sometimes there are these restrictions, these things that don't let you move, these things that just make you feel like you're not up to it. Time. You don't have the time. You're a teacher in the morning, you're a businesswoman in the afternoon, you really don't have time. So time is a constraint. Time is a big constraint. We say we don't have time. Even sometimes when our principals bring information from the ministry, time for, come on, let's go for workshops, seminars. No, we don't have time. You don't want to put your name. You don't want to involve yourself. You do, because you do not have the time. And sometimes you have the time, but you do not have the requisite resources. And by resources here, I mean materials, all right? Some of us, we don't buy books anymore to read. As teachers, we no longer read. Some of us will say, oh, data is a problem. I don't have internet access. I do 2 MB. I go on YouTube, it's finished. I don't want to do anymore. No, you need a lot of data to do that. Okay, so we do not have the resources. And some of us, we have a certain mindset of being stagnated or being of the old order. You like things being the way they are. Oh, we've been doing it like this since 1988. That's how it should be done. Fear of change. Things are moving. We don't want to move. We are stuck in one place, more like a straitjacket kind of approach. That's our problem. That's a big barrier. And that's why I say that you can't do anything if you do not develop a growth mindset. And their lack of support. Some teachers are willing, but the ministries, the schools, that they do not have sufficient support to progress professionally. So that is a real constraint. And finally, lack of motivation. As a teacher, teachers earn so little here. Teachers earn so little here, and that's a big problem. If you look at your salary, you wouldn't want to teach. I mean, they say the reward of teachers is in heaven, right? But no, it's not. I mean, see how you are able to groom little ones from nothing, they become something. They come to your school not knowing how to read, and they go out there, they could read. You see them as graduates, they have become lecturers, they have become lawyers, they become doctors. That is a great reward. And I enjoy it when I go out there and I see my students, say, oh, that's my teacher, and I see you're doing well, and I'm so proud. I think that's the reward. I think that's the motivation that we should have, that it's not about government, it's not about the salary, okay? Even though those things are important, but the zeal, I tell, like I said, it's intentional. I want to do this because I want to see people progress. I want to see young ones out there, making it. Young ones out there becoming useful members of the society. So those are some of the barriers that we face. Is there anything else? Is there anything else you'd like to share? Any other barrier? Yeah, fear of failure. You you are scared, all right? You want to do this thing. Would it work? Would it not work? Okay, I want to introduce online teaching. I want to introduce this something new to my students. Would it work? I better not do it. So just so I don't ruin the moment, I better not do it. So that's just one of the things: fear of change, fear of failure. But you can't stay stuck there because you're afraid. Can't stay stuck there. You have to move forward. Okay, so that's the progressive thinking we're talking about. Lack of confidence. Thank you, Data. Work close. Absolutely. Work close. Thank you, Magdi. Thank you so much. Moving along, Linda. Okay, we'll soon be looking at some of the strategies, but I want to know what you know about some of these strategies here. Workshops, seminars, MOOCs, using technology, all of these that we'll be looking at. What do you know about some of these? Okay, we'll quickly go into them. Yes, Linda? Okay. Workshops and seminars have been one of the oldest forms of CPD. When we started as teachers, we always go out for workshops and seminars, and sometimes these things are one-off. After we're done, it's all over. But it has proven to be very effective, to be an effective means of professional development. When you go out for workshops and seminars, you meet people. They bring in professionals, people that know their talk, people that know what they are capable of, people that know these things, right? And they come there and they teach you. And you take home one or two. It's not so wasted. So workshops and seminars are one of the oldest means of professional development. So they are an intensive short-term learning activity that is designed to provide an opportunity to acquire specific knowledge and skills. I have a problem with workshops and seminars though. and I know this from when I did my MA thesis on this topic, that sometimes because it's one-off, it is not really tailored to the specific needs of teachers. So what my needs are as a language teacher is different from the needs of a science teacher, right? So sometimes they're not tailored to our specific needs, but they have proven to be an absolutely phenomenal, fantastic means of CPD. And you are all encouraged to continue to attend workshops and seminars when they come up. And then you have MOOCs. MOOCs are massive open online courses. They are massive because they can accommodate a large number of students or participants or learners. So you go online on Coursera or even on the British Council website, you see a lot of, like 5,000 people registered on a course, already enrolled on a course. So it's open, it's massive. It could accommodate so many people. And then it's open to anyone with an internet access. Like I said, some of the barriers we have is that we do not have sufficient internet access. But if you have enough internet access, you could access some of these resources online. And it is delivered mostly online through learning management systems, LMS. And they are just structured in a way that, like you have courses that you do in the week 1, you have courses for week 2, week 3, and all of that. And they also have assessments. I've done courses on the British Council website that sometimes you fail it and they tell you can't progress. You have to go back and repeat. Yeah. So they are structured like that. So they are quite intensive. It's not because they are online, they are, nobody's regulating. These things are done using learning management system. So you have to pass. But some of them are absolutely free, like I said. So you go on the English language teaching canals, Coursera, Udemy, or FutureLearn. You have lots and lots of massive open online courses that you can use that are tailored towards your need. You want to do something, they are there. You want to learn how to support your learners emotionally. They are there. There are lots of materials that you can use, and they are all free of charge on the Teaching English Connect website. Okay, using technology. Here we are. And because the times are changing, and this is the time that we have found ourselves, right? Technology is going like rapidly. The increase is so much. And the earlier we embrace it, the better for us. Enough of, I'm technophobic, I can't use a phone. I'm computerphobic, if there is any word like that. I can't use a computer. Let's do this thing. People are using mobile devices as small as your phone. It contains a lot. As small as this Bluetooth radio that I take to school sometimes to teach my learners listening. because they don't have textbooks for their comprehension passages. I have to record it on my phone, and I go with this, and I play it here, and everyone can hear. As small as it is, you can use it. It's an absolutely essential device that you need if you have large classrooms, or if you have learners who do not have textbooks like my learners. And these things are open, technology. You go online, you also have tools that would help you create lesson plans. There are lots of them online if you go. Copilot, ChatGPT. Some of us can't even chat with ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT, how do I do this? ChatGPT will chat you back and tell you. We don't have to be reserved about this or be ashamed or feel like technology is ruining things. It's here to stay. It's here to stay, and we have to leverage it. The thing is to leverage, use it for your own self. Okay, so it's out there. With technology, you go on YouTube, you find resources, you go on the English Connect podcast. There are lots of sites out there that you can use to help yourself and refine your practice. And professional networks and communities, I want to specifically talk about my home people, my Helton, who is doing a fantastic job both at the national and state level where I am. And on Helton platform, for example, they share resources. There are lots of conversations, professional dialogue that we have. You see people ask questions, and there are people who respond. So gone are the days when you are alone as a teacher. You're an island as a teacher. Now there are people, there are networks you can engage with. Okay, on Helton, there is no question that is asked professionally that doesn't get immediate responses. And collaborations with the British Council has really helped us in Helton over the years. We have a lot of people. When I started as a teacher, unfortunately, I didn't know about Helton, and I only got to know about Helton when I was in the UK doing my master's. And I remember my professor asked me, "Do you belong to Helton?" I'm like, "What's Helton?" I didn't know that. And then I had to check online. They were there, but they were not quite active. But today, we have our registrations. If you go on our portal, there are so many things we're doing. And that's very commendable. So you have a network, a community of practice, and together we have been able to explore our own context and construct knowledge and understanding of what takes place in our own classroom. So we have a lot of teachers there that are in the public space. And initially it used to be, it's only for people in the universities, but now primary school teachers are in Helton, secondary school teachers are in Helton, and we have good support. So if you have all of these professional networks in your environment, explore them. Join those associations for your professional well-being, for your professional growth. They are not just there as names. They are there offering support and valuable insights for your professional growth. And you just have to be there to understand how it works. You can't stay far away. So I encourage you, if there is no professional network in your area, in your country, create one. It could be 5. It doesn't have to be top down. It could just be bottom up. You could start with just people in your school. You have 5 English language teachers in your school. Start something. If you have people around your region, start something. And before you know it, you get collaborations with the British Council, and then your network is being promoted. So these communities of practice offer support to their members. Moving along, Linda, please. Okay. So video enhanced observations are like watching yourself, right? It's easy to teach. When you're teaching, there are no mistakes, there are no errors, you're comfortable. Yeah, you teach very well. But then what about if you keep your camera somewhere and then you video yourself, you record yourself teaching, and then go back and watch what you've been doing? You'll be amazed at some mistakes that you've been making. You'll probably be thinking, did I even say that? Was that how I pronounced that word? See how I'm standing. I shouldn't have stood like that. When you watch your videos, you are able to reflect on them. You could sometimes even ask other teachers to watch with you. They watch together, and then you critique, not to judge. There's a slogan we use in Nigeria: we listen, we don't judge, right? So not to judge, but just to constructively give feedback. I think you shouldn't have done that. You did very well there. Don't forget the sandwich method. You praise, you say the good ones, then you take the not so good ones, and then you conclude with the good ones. So when you do that, you are able to reflect, and then collaborate with others. So when others watch, all of you are engaged, and then you could have a professional dialogue around teaching methods, teaching styles, classroom management, social emotional learning, and all of what you prepare to see. But when you are doing your video, when you're revisiting your video, you have to first of all know what you are going in for. So if you're going to check for time management, check for that, because by the time you want to critique everything, it will just absolutely turn as if nothing really happened. You won't really like it. So have a goal. This is what I want to check for. This is what I want to monitor, and then check for that. You could do that alone, or could you do that with your peers? And that is where peer observation comes in, because sometimes you're not an island now. There are times you want to teach something and you do not know how to go about it. How do I teach this element of grammar? I want to use noticing parts of speech. How do I do this? I really don't know. My colleague knows. Oh, okay, let me go to her class and observe. There's no shame there. You could probably just tell her, just so she doesn't feel threatened by your presence, right? And then you go in there, tell her, and then you sit in class. I've done that a couple of times as a novice teacher when I started teaching. I go in class and I sit and I take notes, and students are watching me, and I take notes and I learn, and that has really helped me. Okay, so peer observation is a kind of professional development process where teachers observe and provide feedback on each other's teaching practices. So like I said, you listen, you don't judge, but you could also give that cooperative development kind of setting where, you just talk about it. You just talk about it. And that has offered a lot of support for teachers. Moving along, Linda. So reflective practice, I love this one. So you've done all the teaching, you think you had a fantastic class, and then you go back for a moment and you have that time that you think, what did I do there? Should I have done it better? Is there a way I could have handled that? Did I give them enough time to use the language? Did I give them a sufficient amount of time to practice? Did I give them some support? Should I have just provided the answers or not? So you have that reflective thought, and it's a process of thoughtfully considering your teachings, your experiences, your actions, and decide and learn from them and improve future performances. So when you have reflective practice, remember, it's not just to reflect, it's a practice. So you do that quite often, consistently, right? So you have the time to sit back, take a step back, and think again. See how well you could have done. And doing that leads to a process of self-awareness, gives you more thoughtful and intentional approach to teaching, makes you think critically, feedback and action plan. So when you think about that, you now create an action plan on how best you should do it next time. Moving along, Linda. Okay, so sometimes it's not just all about going on social media, checking for resources. Sometimes the things you need are just around you. You could have this spontaneous conversation with your colleague. Oh, I don't know how I did this student or this class. I couldn't manage my time, this, that. And you have all of those informal conversations. Remember, they are spontaneous. They are not structured, so you do not have a plan. They are unplanned, and they are casual, and they are not judgmental. So these kinds of things gives you that moment of serendipity where things just happen. You just have that eureka moment and say, oh, I think that's correct. I think I should practice that. I think I should do that. Okay, I will try that out in my class. So these informal conversations are really important. Sometimes you do not take note of them, but when you have these conversations with your peers, it helps you. And then you have online support groups as well. You have a lot of these on the British Council website. On Facebook, they have a massive community. They have a massive community. Sub-Saharan Africa, the English Connect Telegram group. You have all of that. And in Nigeria, we have our WhatsApp for LTAN, both at the national level. And you have all of these support groups which are there to assist you, to support you. You're no longer an alone teacher. You are now someone that has all of these people around you, both online and offline. And it's important that you begin to leverage those opportunities. Next slide, please. Okay, so what else can we do? Now you're watching a webinar with me, right? Presenting, and you're learning something, I guess. Okay, you subscribe to teacher education channels of the British Council English Connect website. And I specifically love this one by my lecturer, Joe Gakonga. Hi, Joe, if you're here. And you know, on there, she gives out so many tips on teaching, and she runs the CELTA. She was a CELTA assessor, so you are in safe hands. The thing is, when you go out there, there's not just one channel, there's several channels. So you leverage. The most important thing is leverage. Get newsletters, listen to podcasts, download articles and resources. These things are free. Just have enough data. Just have enough data, and you download these things for free. So, which of these ones are you planning to do, or are you already doing? You can put your answers in the chat. Tell us what you're planning to do, or which one of these strategies you're already developing or taking leveraging on. Okay, next slide, please, Linda. We're almost rounding up. Okay, so this is my action plan very quickly. Maybe for the year you want to, the goal is to improve technology in your class. What do you want to do? Do you want to attend workshops and trainings to do that? Do you want to collaborate with colleagues to learn how to improve technologically? And how long is this for? Is it for 3 months? Is it for 6 months? What are the resources that you need to do this? Do you want to go attend workshops? Do you want to watch videos online? Do you want to collaborate with colleagues? So this is what your action plan should look like. We'll be talking more about this on the English Connect Telegram group this Friday, I think, when we are there talking more about taking responsibility for your professional development. So this is what my action plan looks like for the year. What is yours going to look like? I'll be waiting to see that. Next slide, please. So final thoughts. Just as I was preparing my slides that day, I had a eureka moment, and then I went on the Elton Rivers on the Elton Port Harcourt website, Rivers website, WhatsApp group, and someone posted this. I have put your number for reference, just so I'm not taking credit for this. And she says, as a teacher, always upgrade. You see those proud teachers that are expensive, they always upgrade. You know, I've met them and I was speechless. They are intelligent because they are upgrading. Watch YouTube or Facebook videos on how to improve your teaching strategies. Take courses, collaborate with intelligent teachers. Don't be comfortable with collecting peanuts because you did not upgrade. Times are changing, change the times. And I was so excited. I said, I have to bring this here, okay, for us, so that we know that there are teachers that are out there making us proud and taking those deliberate decisions and intentional actions to upgrade themselves, taking responsibility for that professional development. So thank you for that wonderful contribution, teacher. I don't know your number. I've just put your number for reference. Thank you so much. Next slide, please. So finally, be intentional. If there is nothing else you're taking away today, be intentional. No, Today, I am making that decision to take responsibility for my professional development. While you do that, you may want to create an action plan, seek help if needed. It's the times are gone when you are an alone teacher. Now help is everywhere, both online and offline. It's not a curse to ask for help, right? They say he who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. But he who knows not and knows that he knows not is ready to learn. So be ready to learn, seek help, and take responsibility. Taking responsibility for your professional development is a bold step in the right direction. Do not feel embarrassed. The only embarrassment will come when people have left you. When everyone is advancing and you're where you were. We will leave you. We will leave you. So it's all about improving on the things you love. And I trust that you've got this. So go for it. Go for it. I think that's all. I think that's all. Hi, Linda. Is that the last slide? I think so. Yeah, so these are some useful links that are available for you. You can use them, check them. I have some of my, I have something on teaching grammar using notice in parts of speech on the English Connect website. There are lots of them. We did the Female Voices program last year, and we had so many amazing resources that teachers in Africa have developed. So these are things within your context, right? These are things within your context. We are all in the same space. We all have large classes. We are all sometimes demotivated. We do not have the necessary support. So we are here to support each other. So you are not alone. We're together under the same sky. Thank you so much. Oh, Linda, I didn't feel like stopping, but thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do I have any questions?
And thank you so much, Mabel. You've been so enthusiastic, so informative, inspiring everybody, enthusing everyone with all your ideas, and so many great ideas there. And also so many other people have put their ideas, great contributions in the chat, which is excellent. So we have 10 minutes now for a few questions. We haven't had any so far in the chat, but would anyone like to write their questions, please, in the chat, and put their hand up and unmute to ask Mabel their question in person. So if you put your hand up, please wait, and we will ask you to unmute.
There's actually one at the moment.
While we're waiting, maybe you could tell us what's your favorite CPD that you've ever done, Mabel?
I think I like the MOOCs one. I did some of them. I think I have like 3 certifications last year alone. So I love MOOCs. I love going online learning, you know, and I also love informal conversations. These are things that just happen. You are in the office after teaching, like, oh, that student, oh, that topic, I don't know what I don't know. And then someone just makes a suggestion, like, oh, I should have thought about that. You know, I really like informal conversations. That's why I said serendipity, because it just happens. You didn't plan for it. It happens, and you try the next time, and it's working. You're like, why didn't I think about this? So it's all about engaging, right? Having professional dialogue, conversations. When we're in the office, we should have that. Sometimes we're in the office and we're talking social media alone. So let's also talk about what bothers us in class as teachers, as professionals. I think professional engagements are really necessary, and we should begin to encourage that in our classes.
Okay, great. And we have a question from Abebe in Ethiopia. He said, what strategies would you recommend for teachers to balance professional development with their regular teaching responsibilities? Because this is a difficult thing, isn't it? We're all really busy. Yeah. What would you recommend?
I think, like I said, the MOOCs one, because it gives you time. It's asynchronous, so it's already there. You go on, you have the time to practice, you have the time to learn, you have time to study. Okay, it's not immediately. You could do it today, do a little and come back for it. The idea is to finish. So you set your time, you set your goal. This is what I want to do. Even if it takes 3 months, the idea at the end of the day is that you're coming back as a more formidable teacher. You're coming out as a more influential teacher for your students and for yourself. And the results would just not show on you. It would also tell on your students. The performances are increasing, the grades are going up, the records are coming from your exams and WAEC and all that, and students are doing great. It tells on you as well. So while we are busy, we could also try MOOCs. While we are busy, we could also attend seminars. It doesn't come all the time. While we are busy, use technology is there at our disposal. While we are busy, you know, we connect with professional networks in your area, in your region, connect with any professional network and balance it. The idea is to continue to learn. It's continuous. It's not learn today, not learn tomorrow. Join webinars. Some of us wait until we are, oh, there's promotion coming. Oh, let me just join. Oh, I'm just joining for the certificates. No, join because you think it's good for you, it's good for your students, and it's good for your education, right? It's good for you, and then it's good for everybody, and it's a win-win at the end of the day.
So probably the British Council courses are one of the best things because you can do them in your own time, can't you?
Exactly.
And you don't have to have a limit, but also we need a bit of time management and discipline to be able to do them, don't we? And to set a little bit of time each day.
Yeah.
A few more questions here. What's the difference between personal and professional development? What do you think?
Okay, professional development has to do with your professional career, but your career is not out of yourself. You are the one making your career, right? So when it's professional development, and then at the end of the day, you're the one that oozes out. It radiates in you. It comes out of you. So your personal development could be, I want to develop myself. I want to develop myself professionally. So by professionally, you want to now begin to engage with professional networks. You want to begin to do things that are in line with your profession, such as taking courses, going for trainings, education, going for a master, for example. And when you do that, like I said, you want that it reflects on. So your professional development is all about your career, yourself, and what you're doing as a teacher. But that would also improve your personal development, because your professional and your personal development are just intertwined.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Did I say that well?
The overlap, yeah, you're right.
Yes,
it does
overlap.
Okay, yeah, great. What about for a beginner teacher? What steps would you recommend for a beginner teacher to start with professional development?
Engagements. There are people that have been doing these things in your school. Like I said, when I started, I had this difficulty and I had to sit in class with my senior colleague. So engagement, don't stay aloof. Don't say they don't know what they're doing. There are people that have been in this business for a very long time, even though the young ones are coming these days with a lot of technological ideas, right? But if you're new to the business, engage with people. And then there's a lot that comes with sharing ideas and shared experiences. You bring your tech ideas, and then the other person bring their, for example, not so tech ideas, and then you put this together and just explore the nuances and dynamics of these things, and you've realized that you are helping her and then she's helping you. So it's all about engaging meaningfully, having dialogues and meaningful engagements with each other. So if you're a novice teacher, engage, look for professional networks to join, go online, try MOOCs, try engaging professionally with other people, and don't be an alone teacher. That's the thing. Don't be embarrassed to ask questions and you'll definitely get responses, and it's all for your own good. Like I said, taking responsibility is your business. So imagine your business. No one has to tell you to wake up in the morning and brush your teeth. You know you will brush your teeth, otherwise your mouth will snare, right? So it's your business. So how you do it is up to you. So engaging, professional dialogues, collaborative engagements. That's all.
Yeah. Great advice. And somebody put in the chat as well, having a mentor or a senior mentor is really important.
Exactly.
You can ask, someone you can help. Yeah. Okay, we've got Dr. Magdi, who's waiting very patiently with his hand up for a moment, but just another question first. When somebody asked, does the British Council offer diplomas or degrees? And I think you'll find if you look at the website that there are no degrees from the British Council, but all of these courses, have a look on the British Council website. Maybe Steve can post the link to all the courses. And then what about innovative ideas? Now, I think you've obviously shared lots of innovative ideas. Do you have one more innovative idea for professional development that you can share that would keep teachers motivated, Mabel? What do you think? What's the best one you can recommend?
Use technology as often as you can. Go online. There was a time I was struggling with a certain phonetic transcription or so, and I couldn't pronounce it. So I went online. I asked myself, okay, just a moment, hang on. And then I went on YouTube. I typed it and I said how to pronounce, for example, let's say the schwa sound, how to pronounce. And it was there. And my students were learning along. Okay, they were learning along. So that's a great idea. Sometimes you have a class where, like my students, they don't have textbooks. What I do is to record the passage on my phone. And like I said, I go with this, my small radio, I go with this Bluetooth, and then I put it on, and then it also improves their listening. So imagine that they're taking an IELTS in listening. They already know this thing. It's no longer strange to them. So just think of something. Just think of anything that fits your context. I do this because I teach a senior class, but you could probably be in a primary school and then you could just devise something else. The idea is that let's not do things the way we do it long ago and then we expect things to change. Let's try and be creative.
Maybe watching this webinar again, watching the recording of this, and you'll get more ideas out of it. I think.
Ideas, absolutely.
I posted the link to the courses in the chat. Dr. Magdi Khalil, over to you for the final question then. Sorry to help make you wait so long.
First of all, thank you so much for Lisa and Mabel for a great presentation, a great workshop. I'm very happy. And Mabel has transferred her incitement and her excitement and her dedication to me. Yeah, and we're far apart away from each other, but I can feel now I'm charged with full of energy to go and develop myself and grow up as an effective teacher. My question, is answered now by the many questions the people asked it, and Lisa has said them, and you answered them fully. So I just say thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear. Happy to see you. I know I saw some of your posts on the English Connect Telegram group. Very insightful. Very insightful. I think I love your comments, and I think I commented behind your comment that I liked it. Thank you so much. Happy to see you.
And that's a really nice link. I'm sorry there's no time for more questions now, but that's a really nice link onto the follow-up, because Mabel's going to be in the Telegram English Connects group answering more questions and checking up if you've got an action plan. Is that going to be this Friday?
I think so, yes.
Yes, next Friday, 17th of January.
Great. Okay, so thank you so much, Mabel, for that. Lovely follow-up. Please, everybody, join her in the English Connects Telegram group. And over to you, Steve, to close. Thanks, everyone, for their participation.